Everyone, what's going on? Today we're starting off with New Haven.
Oh,
Cuckoo.
Oh, there's a cat down there.
There's a cat down there. There's a cat. Let's see if we can see the kitty cat. Oh, there's a kitty. There's a kitty cat. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start to play New Haven, and it kind of reminds me of Catan, just only because of the pieces. The gameplay is not the same because there are no dice, no robbers, and but yeah, and yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited. I've played this one once before at a convention. I played it at Geekway to the West a year or two ago, maybe. One of my clients had worked with R&R Games, the publisher, and they received a copy of this, among other things, as part of their thanks for helping package. And so after the show was over, we were hanging around because our flights didn't leave right away. We were hanging around and just kind of playing games and hanging out. And they were like, "Hey, I just got this brand new game, from R&R. I'd like to try it." So we set it up. We played it. I remember really liking it a lot. And eventually, sometime between then and now, I picked up a copy. But we have never actually played it since then. And you've never played it. So
No, I've never.
I'm looking forward to trying it again. I remember liking it, and I think it's going to be fairly simple, fairly quick, but I think I'm going to like the strategies behind it. So it's sort of a tile placement resource management game where you are placing these tiles out on the board, trying to make connections so that you can collect resources. So like here I would connect these stones, and I would get to collect stones, and then I'd also get to collect sheep because there were sheep on the tile that I placed. But all the resources are for everyone to use. So I would get 4 stone, and the stone would go up to 4 over here, and the sheep would go up to 2 over here as well. But then if I couldn't use all this to build something on my turn, whatever's left, Nick gets to try to use to build something for himself. So there's some give and take, and I think it's going to be really fun and puzzly and interesting. So
Cool, interesting.
let's see.
Yeah, we shall see. New Haven from R&R Games. Let's go.
Laid plans of Sarah and Mice are not going well.
Oh my. So we're doing something a little different on our little game vlog. This is a little bit after mid-game, but we're still got 5 turns, and I feel like in this game that could be that could change, but
My brain is steaming.
it is steaming,
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. It's a good way. Yeah, so New Haven, for all that mid-game coverage. It's very, like Sarah said, your steam's starting to come out of your ears, so there's a lot of, there's a lot to build up to. What are we doing here?
So I'll show you what's behind my little player screen. This is what I have behind my player screen right now. And I've already determined that all of these whoa, that's huge. I've already determined that all these over here are just basically dead tiles. I'm not going to be able to use. But all the rest of these, I might be able to fit somewhere in my village to potentially score some points. So the way you score points is by having a completed row or column. And you score this number of points, these little guys here at the bottom, or the side over here. You score that number of points for a completed row or column, and you score double if you have done it perfectly. So I have these ones that don't have any number on them at all, and that means I'm not going to get to score double for those rows and columns. So I am trying to figure out, with what I have left, how I can possibly do as well as possible with 6 turns left in the game. And I'm thinking that the priority is to fill up this one right here, because then I'll be able to score that row. And then if I can do these 2 right here, I'll also be able to score that row. And then past that, maybe these 2 up here. But I'm thinking that I don't know. I mean, I could also go for like probably this one would be a good one because I have everything in that column except for that one. Oh, it's quite difficult. So many hard decisions.
Yeah, and this is what I got going on over here. Mine's pretty. I took a lot of.
Nick's is all pretty and like all perfect and.
I don't know about that. I mean, we'll come back later to end of game scoring and who wins and who loses. But I've got a whole bunch of mess behind my little player board, and yeah, I'm planning on finishing this one because I can with what is on the board with all the action of wheat. Spoiler. But yeah, we'll get back to you guys in a little bit and see what happens at the end of the game. All right, toodles. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
So this is the end game and or the end of the game. How'd you do?
The who? The her.
Yeah, a little bit. So there's your board.
Alright, I got 14 points.
And I got 24 points.
So yeah. Grand plans. Didn't come to fruition really.
But so what were your thoughts about the game?
I like it. It's quite puzzly. But you can't perfectly solve the puzzle. So to me, I really like puzzle games, but sometimes if there's like a perfect way to solve it, then I
Or
can't
easier way to
achieve
solve
that.
it?
No, a perfect way. I mean,
Okay.
like one way where like everything is exactly at its like optimal space. I think doing that in this game would mean that like fate was absolutely on your side. But like it's not like within your control to perfectly solve the puzzle. And I like that about puzzle games because if there's a way to perfectly solve the puzzle and I don't achieve that, then it makes me feel like I could have, and then I get frustrated with myself. So I like that you can still play as optimally as possible and not necessarily do well enough to like solve the puzzle. Not that I played as optimally as possible, obviously. But with puzzle games that have like a perfect solve, I get frustrated if I can't achieve that. So I was pleased that it was not like that. And I thought it was really interesting. I thought the way that you had to get and share resources was interesting. I liked that a lot because it meant that if you were just sort of willy-nilly like, I get all the wheat, but then you didn't use all the wheat, then you were giving
your
resources
opponents.
to your opponents.
Yeah.
So
And
I
there
like
was-
that.
And there was a variant that we drew that we can't really play with, so
Well, yeah, it's
I mean we can play with later, but it was interesting to draw in the game.
actually the board is. I'm gonna
Yeah.
flip the board. The board is
Oh my
double-sided, and on this side, the B side of the board, there's a slightly different set of rules that you can add if you play with the B side, and they recommend you don't do that if you're not familiar with the game, which is why we didn't. And then there's also some variants, and we do have a very small expansion as well. So still lots to explore in this game, even if we were ready to move on from just the base, which I am totally not. With my little 14 points, I probably need to practice some more. But I really like it. It's fun, it's puzzly, it's interesting, it keeps you engaged pretty much the entire time, even on an opponent's turn. Not only do you get resources on their turn, but you also get, for me, I was sitting there like, it's a tile placement game, so you're looking at these tiles, and for me, I was like, okay, where am I going to put my next tile? And you know, what exactly what are my opponents going to take from over here? What's that going to leave me? That kind of stuff. So I was completely engaged the whole time, which is really nice. Yeah, and I want to try again. I want to do better the next time, hopefully.
Nice. And yeah, so it doesn't so I won, but I still want to do better. That's the kind of the beauty of puzzly games, is that you get to play again, play better, be more efficient, or find new ways to be efficient. So yeah, this definitely has. I definitely want to play this again. It didn't matter if I win or lose. won or lose, but it's one of those games like, okay, let's do this again. I'm a player that likes puzzly games. So
I think the production quality was pretty nice too. The boards are like shiny and durable. It was completely unnecessary, but they gave each town its own name. So, and the fact that the board is double-sided, there's way more tiles and tokens than what we needed for a two-player game.
So you're saying like the replayability's there?
Oh, for sure.
Too,
Yeah, especially as a two-player game. Probably as a 3 and 4 player game as well. Just because of the number of tiles and tokens and everything. And then on top of that, because of its puzzly nature, it's gonna be different every single time you play it. So.
Nice. All right. So that was New Haven from R&R Games. Cool. Later.